at Ngozi Talk Shows. How are you, family? I'm here live. So, welcome to Ngozi Talk Shows. And so, today I'm on my own. It's Thursday. I normally will be with Dr. Biget. So, she was here on Monday. So, hopefully, we're going to have some learning and we're going to have some fun using our mastermind together. So, today, basically, the topic is the choices that became a habit and those that became reality and the chains that became my identity. So when I chose this topic, basically, I'm sure some of you guys who are following me on social media, you have seen my pictures with my chains. So when I have that picture with my chains, those chains represent every chain that I had in my life that I decided to hold on to, the chains of the choices that became a habit. Choices that became a habit, it means that I make choices in my life. And those choices, instead of when I realize that I've made the wrong choices, I never drank in my life, I never took any drugs. Um, Basically, I went to church and I made some choices, really bad choices as a Christian, thinking that basically I had the life under control and I made the choices of becoming a follower. That's what everyone does. We make choices and we become followers instead of living our lives how we are meant to be. So you become a follower, you follow other people when somebody enters your life instead of living your life to the full who you're meant to be. We change our identity, we change our attitude, we change our character because we wanted to fit in. And also the choices of not forgiving those that I meant to forgive, and those choices led me to basically when you hold on to unforgiveness, it's a chain. When you actually complain in your life, all you do is complain. I am who I am because of my family. My parents divorced. I was 8 months old when my parents divorced, and they both remarried. I was so happy. Growing up as a child, I was a happy child. I was a very, very happy child. I was a very, very loved child by my father, by my mother, by my grandparents, by my family, all my family around me. There was no negative things that I could see. But when I became an adult now, starting dating, I became a follower. And when I listened to people, the conversation, I started adapting those conversation. Those conversation became the attachment to my life. So I started blaming my parents. I don't know why. They're divorced. And that affected my relationship. But growing up, I was okay. So when I became an adult, that was then because you have to get out there and be on your own. So I started complaining and be blaming people that were not there for me. I was like, why would my parents divorce? I couldn't understand that people had to divorce, but I could understand before. But then the thoughts, if you ask me what happens, I can't explain to you what happened. But it is something that I find myself um, thinking about it, creating stories in my head, and those stories became reality. And those stories became chain. And when the stories become chains, your thoughts, when they become a reality, if they are bad thoughts, they become a chain. That means they're default, automatic, they're there. So every time you try to do something, uh, those will be there. You try to do something good, and those thoughts will be there to basically to direct you to the right direction. So when I say thoughts, that became a reality. I'm talking about thoughts, negative thoughts that we allow in our lives to take control in our lives. And I know there are some people who have not figured out the personal development, the motivation, how it works. So if you have thoughts, you have to evaluate your thoughts. And if you were to ask me, if you had met me when I was a child, up to the age of 16, I was a happy child. I was someone who was happy. I spent time with my family. If I wasn't with my mom, I spent time with my dad. I basically spent time with my parents. Uh, I would go out and hang out with friends. And if I'm singing with my granddad, performing, I'll go perform, go to school. If I wasn't in school, I'll be with my dad. If I wasn't with my dad, I'll be with my mom, my grandparents. So depending what I was doing, I was a very, very happy child. But then the age of 17 is where you start seeing boys now, they're coming to you, they start chatting to you, and also you try to hang out with the other people. You try to hang out with the children your age, and those children, it depends with the choices that they are making. So I'm glad the choices that I never ever tried to make is trying to drink alcohol, because I've made a choice that I didn't want to drink. I don't know, I didn't want to drink alcohol, but there were times where I'll go with my friends that drink, so they would try to convince me, give me the reasons why it is important to drink, why it is important, what happens if you don't drink. They will try to give me those reasons, trying to convince me that it is okay to drink, but it was a choice that I have made that I didn't want to drink. My family, they all drink in my family, but I don't drink. Not because I don't like alcohol. I did taste alcohol and I was like, just I drink juice. Juice has a little bit of sugar. It's very tasty. I can dilute it with water. It will still be tasty. I'll go back to it. Um, I don't so, and I was like, this beer is tasty disgusting. So I couldn't say the reason why people are drinking. So that's why I wasn't interested in it. So those were the reason why I was like, I don't want to drink. And also I see my friends when they drink, they are like, basically they change, attitude and behavior changes. So I'm like, if beer has to make me like this, I don't want to. But all that time, I had friends that were trying to convince me, not accepting me for the choices that I've made, trying to convince me how beautiful it is to drink, but I didn't. And then you come to the boyfriends now. When people start dating, girls start dating, they're gonna, okay, you get together, like you get girls, they get together, and there's alcohol, there's drugs, there's sex, and then they're like, have you ever had sex? So you're like, no, I've not tried sex, and they're like, you're weird. But how weird is it if I don't want to have sex? I don't want to have sex, it means I'm not ready to have sex. So there are some people who make choices that they will basically prefer to do things to please their friends. They will prefer to do things to fit in. I went to that journey myself. So not talking about something. I didn't do all those things, but there are different things that I did myself by following my friends, following them, and knowing that what I did, what I was doing is wrong, it's not my identity inside of me. I knew it wasn't real. The character that I was creating, I knew it wasn't real. And there was a cry inside of me. I was like, I'm a child of God, and I know this is not real. I don't want to feel this way. I didn't want to feel this. I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't want to fit in. I didn't want to make the choices, the bad choices that will become my identity. The choices, basically the habit, nature, that in the identity choices, habit, nature, and identity, all those three things together, they become automatic. You create bad habit, and the people that come into your life, they hurt you, and instead of letting them go, I held them in my heart for a very, very long time. I've held people made choices, um, basically to hold people in my heart, because at the time I thought it was the right thing to do. But the choices in my life that are, that basically were reflected, that were reflecting my true authenticity, those choices were inside of, I had made choices about my identity inside of me. But every time I go and meet my friends, I will try to fit in and push away my feelings, push away the things that I wanted to do because I wanted to fit in, until I realized that actually this is not reflecting what I was doing. It wasn't reflecting who I really am. Because who I really am, that child, that beautiful child inside out, was always within myself. Sometimes, and there were times where I realized that the choices that I have made, they have become a stronghold in my life. They have become a stagnation in my life. And those who are Christians, they know what I'm talking about. Because if you say to yourself that I'm a child of God, I go to church, and when you go to church, and the preacher does, they preach, and you're like, Amen, hallelujah. But then when you go outside, um, I wear seductive clothes, basically to see. Basically, I thought it was sexy because that's what I saw on social media. Sex, it means I have to wear cleavage that will show my boobies. That's what I believe. Those were the choices that were not for my choices. It was the attachment that I had learned through the society, through social media. And those habits became my identity, where I believe that, and those habits were planted, basically, were planted, and I accepted them. When someone plants, when you buy a magazine, you buy a magazine, you look at those, you look at people, they're wearing, they've made their own choices to dress how they want. They people make choices, and then you buy a magazine to read, and then you see uh, people wearing those clothes because they apparently sexy selves. That's what I hear that people saying, when you look sexy, that means that you're gonna sell. That's why you see loads of uh, videos like R&B. Basically, people are pushing boundaries because apparently, the more you show more, the more you're gonna go to number one. So, but I don't believe that is true, because they are uh, basically artists who have been there for many, many years, like Celine Dion. uh, Whitney wasn't showing loads of cleavage, and Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross. There are so many artists that are icon out there who basically uh, they made it, but they didn't have to show any cleavage. So what you believe, what I believe, that what I hear is the sex sells, and adopted that. That means if I go out, I have to look sexy. Looking sexy, it means my boobies has to have to be out. When I'm going out clubbing, I don't go clubbing anymore. When I'm going out clubbing, it means I have to show my cleavage. Like this dress will be like open, and you can see my boobies. But a woman's body is meant to be respected. We have to respect our bodies. We can show what we want to show, but at the end of the day, if that's what we believe, that it sells, or that's what we believe, that we want attention to, um, for people to see us, to see our bodies, and then we're gonna be basically seen as people who are sexy, or a woman that is sexy. So for me, a woman that is sexy is a woman that has brain. I call that sexy. When a woman knows what they want and they have brain, creativity, educated. Educated, it means you have something that you believe in, you have something, skills at least, that you have studied and you know those skills very well. That's a woman with brain. That's a woman with and when a woman has brain, and a woman who knows exactly what they want in life, I call that sexy, because sexy is not going to build marriage. I can dress up nicely right now and go out. That's what I believe now. Then I believed that my body will find me a man that I want. But yes, we will that moment. But when that man get to know me, they're just gonna want to know what's in my head. They're gonna want to know, can they actually take me to their family, introduce me to their family? There's gonna be loads of questions that this many will ask. Will ask the questions. Uh, if they are looking for a serious relationship, if a man is looking for a serious relationship, or a woman is looking for a serious relationship, beauty, it works, but it goes deep, because beauty is not going to, beauty works. So if you're beautiful, yes, it's a start, comes with a package. If you are a woman with brain, yes, it works. That's this comes with another package. If you are a woman who is got a nice body within, because what's on the inside of me is greater than what's on the outside. So if you have the inside, the outside as the package, we're talking marriage. That's what men are looking for. That's what women are looking for. They know a woman who is looking for a body. A man's body who goes to the gym, uh, and they're looking good. That means they're not looking for a serious relationship. So a man that goes to the gym has to come with a body. It has to come with that body. Has to come with brain. It has to come with the future? Do they know the brain, meaning what do they have for the future? What do they want to do for the future? So that's what I believe. I don't believe that just sexy is gonna get you a good man, or is gonna get you a good husband, a good wife. I don't believe that. That's why marriages don't last, because people believe that being sexy, it can get you what you want, but it doesn't. I have a nice body. I am a very good looking girl. That's what I believe. But I don't believe that my body can get me a relationship, if I don't have brain that goes with it. I have to have a brain in order for me to keep that man. I have to have a character. I have to have an attitude, a good attitude. I have to have integrity. and the list goes on. That comes with all that. But before I was in this society that I entered, where I believed that I'm beautiful, I have a nice body, I can get a man that I want. That's what people made me believe, that I can get a man that I want. When I talk to my friends, they are like, oh, when you're beautiful and you have the body, you have everything that a man wants, but actually, man wants everything. They want what's on the inside. When they see something that they like, now they are curious. What's inside them. So when I'm saying inside, it means in that brain. What does that brain have for the future? Does that brain, can I basically live with this person all my life? That's what they look for. They don't look for sex. A good man, a well-cultured man, he does not look for just sex, that I'm gonna sleep with her and I'm gonna get what I want and I'm gonna let her go. Or she's sexy, you wanna get to know her. No, there's so many things that goes on in men's mind. So, and women's mind. You can be a man that goes to the gym, you can be a man that is handsome. For me, I passed that stage where I look for men because of the looks. I passed that stage where I look for men because they go to the gym. I don't do that. I need a man that has all those qualities, that has brain, and that knows exactly what they want in life, in the future. They have a vision for their family. They have a vision if I date them. They have a vision where they see themselves in 5 years, 3 years, the list goes on. So I don't want to date someone just for fun, because my body is not just for fun. If somebody says to me, remember, we have choices. I saw somebody on Facebook a few weeks ago putting that I'm dating this guy, but he's a very, very serious guy. And but I'm not ready to settle down. I have three guys. He's got three guys lined up. So how can you have sex with the three guys? Yes, you can. The choices, because of the choices that we make, we cannot have as many people as we want. But when it comes to the Bible, whether you're a Christian or not, every person that you sleep with, they are depositing something inside your body. So if you're sleeping with 5 or 10 people, how many sperms or whatever they are depositing in your body? When the body is making love to this body, two people, they basically, something is created. It's an agreement. So yeah, you can have how many as you want. But as a woman, it doesn't matter how many times you've been hurt, how many times, 20 times or 30 times. You still have to have a respect of your body. You still have to have a respect of your life. You still have to be aware of your thoughts. If you believe that my thoughts, they are not giving me the reality of life that I want it to be. So you can basically work on your mindset. You can work on your past, because past doesn't define us. There are some people that are in a relationship didn't work. They believe that their past defines them, who they are. Past does not define who you are. You might have someone who grew up without, maybe you're adopted, maybe you don't know your parents. That does not define who you are. The parents that you know is that parent that took time, they dedicated their life. Even in the Bible, it says that a parent is someone that dedicates their life to raise you. And if that person, your dad, wasn't there, or your mom wasn't there, it doesn't define you. You still have to live your life. You still have to make choices that will basically, those choices will define who you are. We can blame and say, I am who I am because I was this. I was this. There are some people who go through abuse. And I'm sorry to those who have gone through abuse. They didn't deserve it, but unfortunately, in life, we don't ask for what we want. But if you work on the forgiveness, forgive yourself and forgive the other person, because the person that is hurting you and the person that has hurt you, they will go on and hurt somebody else. But if you forgive yourself, forgive those who have hurt you, you will have an opportunity to live the life that you want. The man that you meet, he is not going to care about what happens in the past. What is going to care about is, are you okay? Can you be my woman? Can you be this? So that means if you have been sexually abused, what's stopping you getting married? Nothing is stopping you getting married. If you are meeting people that are judging you, judgmental people, then that means you shouldn't be with those people, because we shouldn't judge people by their past. We shouldn't judge people by what they have done. So people make mistakes, and when they do make mistakes, they work on those mistakes. As long as they acknowledge, they come to a basically realization that I need to clarify the good habits and the bad habits, and they work on their bad habits. And once they work on their bad habits, and then basically you work on the habits that you want to implant in your life. Which habits? Who do you want to be? It's, for me, basically, I'm a Christian. And for me to be who I wanted to be, knowing who Nomsa is, it was me crying out to God. So you can cry out to the universe and ask the universe to show you who are you. What is the hidden secret about your life? For me, it was God, crying to God, show me a hidden secret about my life, who I am, who is Nomsa. Not by being told by friends or family that who they believe me to be, because that person within me, there is that inner subconscious spirit within me. That is the real me. If I activate that spirit, my inner being, my subconscious mind, I activated my subconscious mind. If I activate it by meditation, by prayer, by fasting, asking God, show me who I am, show me a hidden secret about my life, who I should become, who I should be. Show me a hidden secret. The Holy Spirit will show you within you who you are as a person. You will start doing things that you will start basically surprising yourself by doing things that you didn't believe that you could do as a person. You will start becoming the woman or the man that you are meant to be, just by crying out, asking God, show me who I am. Show me my true identity. When you are asking, you're praying. So if you don't believe in God, you're going to believe in something. Because if you don't believe in something, you're going to believe in depression. So you don't want to go into depression. So you're going to believe in something. You're going to use something or the universe. Speak to the universe. Show me who I am. What is the hidden secret about me? A hidden secret, like uh you could be, let's say, you could be good in communication, you could be good in mathematics, you could be good in so many things. You could be good in speaking. You find yourself now you're developing speaking, you're developing different things, and because you're crying out and you're activating your subconscious mind to actually show you, Holy Spirit, God, show me. I pray to God and I say to God, show me any hidden secret about me. If I have to fast for 20 days, 30 days, 60 days, 70 days, for God to actually show me who is Nomsa, what am I capable of? Who is Nomsa? What can Nomsa do? Because we all have a hidden talent. So if you really, really want to find out who you really are, you can cry out, you can ask the universe to show you, or you can meditate, a simple meditation, asking God, asking the universe, show me who I am. You will develop this, uh, you will develop talent. You'll start seeing yourself doing things that you didn't think you were capable of because of the choices that you'll be making at that moment. You will see yourself different. You will see yourself becoming different. How you walk, you will be different because when you walk, everything was on the inside is aligned with what's on the outside, is aligned with your thoughts, is aligned with everything that you're meant to be, the good habits that you've created. So everything will be aligned with you. So those are the choices that we say, the choices you're breaking every chain. So you can break the chains of I'm not enough. Who told you you're not enough? Just because some man walked into your life and tell you that you're not enough. So now you're believing that you are not enough. Just because someone walked into your life and they said something. And then now you're believing, you're making a choice in believing what they are saying. What do they know about? So the first thing you need to ask yourself, if I walk into your life, it doesn't matter who you are or whatever choices you have made. I don't have a right to walk into your life and tell you that you are not enough. So when I'm evaluating myself, I evaluate myself. I have friends. The choices of me and my friends are different. That our values, our beliefs are different. But that doesn't mean that I have a right to judge my friends. All I got to do is love my friends because that's what they do. They love me. So if I've got friends that love me, when I enter their life, their world, if my job is to love, is to give what I can give, love them and just leave them be who they want to be. If they are good habit that they want to learn from me, they can learn, provided you're hanging out with people that think like you, basically think similar things like you, and the people who have visions, people who want to succeed. You can't just hang out with anyone just because NUMSA said we don't have a right to judge. Yes, we don't have a right to judge, but at the same time, our environment is very, very important. Where who we hang out with is very, very, very important. So make sure that when you live your life, your environment is what is who you want to be. So you can check your environment, evaluate that environment, and mostly our life experiences, they create our habits. The life experiences and the events, we end up making choices because we believe that's who we are. But the truth is that's not what we are, is there within. We've got to find it. For me, basically, for me to find out who knows like this, I had to go back to my childhood. When I went back to my childhood, I had to find Nomsa that was already there within me, Nomsa that I had neglected, and I had to let go of this Nomsa that I made it up. I had to accept my true, authentic Nomsa. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. Did it happen overnight? No, it didn't. There's no magic pill that can help you create good habit to become the person you are meant to be. But there is a process. The process is a choice. It starts with a choice. What do I want to be? Who is Nomsa? Basically, you have to look at the habits that you have created in your life. Look at your environment. whatever you're willing to change, this environment, the people you hang out with, are they going to help you to become the person that you want to become? If I want to start a business, I look at my environment. I don't when you want to do something or you want to apply for a job, you don't want people that are going to tell you that is a wrong idea, or you are not enough to apply for that job, or you are not enough to get it to start your business. So you want someone who is going to support you, which is you find a coach. But you can work on yourself, self help. You can't do it on your own. You can use the Bible scriptures. I used the Bible scriptures, and I used Paul McKenna. Paul McKenna, basically, for me, it, it was I made a choice that I wasn't happy with the life that I was living. I was miserable. I had a good life, but inside of me, and I was miserable. And I looked back when I was growing up, and up to the age of 16, I was a happy child. So I wanted to find out why things changed, became the way they did. Why? Because people don't change. We grow, but there is no way that our personality, the whole personality changes. No, we grow. So when you growing up, you grow, you become more and more and more and more amazing. But I didn't become more amazing. I became a follower. I became, I basically, the choices that I've made, they became, I'm going to talk about basically, we're going to talk about the list of why do people, the bad habits. I'm going to talk about it before the end. So I became, but although I had changed, but there were some things that my identity I kept. There were things that I didn't, uh, I didn't change. I didn't change that bad, but I did, because inside I wasn't happy. So I had to remember my true authenticity, and my true authenticity self. And I had to ask myself, uh, who do I represent? Who my core values? What are my core values and my beliefs? And as a Christian, I had to read the Bible. And when you are starting a business, basically it's the same. When you are a Christian, you have to look at your values, you have to look at your beliefs and see whether they're gonna take you to where you need to go. So for me, as a Christian, there were times where I got so frustrated about life that I never lived this life before, and I was getting like depressed, a little bit of depression. I never went to deep, but a little bit getting depressed. And I wish I would never ever, uh, when I was like young, for me, I was always happy. So I understand that when you work, you start paying bills, you start going out, you start things change because you are living your life, and things like that. But I realized something wasn't right. So I tried to change it, and by asking myself, my values and my beliefs, my core values and my beliefs, what it means to be a Christian, because I call myself a Christian. I was raised in church. I started going to church at a very young age. And I started asking myself, I was baptized when I was 18. That was my choice, because I used to go to Seventh-day Adventist. We don't baptize children. You have to be baptized. It has to be a choice. So I've made a choice that I basically wanted to be baptized. I did make a choice. Yes, I did. Uh, when I made that choice, And a few years later, I had to ask myself, why did I make these choices that I'm making? But I'm so frustrated. So I had to work on my values. I had to look at my values and look at my beliefs. Now, looking at that, and then me and Paul McKenna, I had to use his work. And first thing that I had to get rid of, it was I had to be honest with myself, and I had to learn to be honest with my friends. I had to learn to be honest with my family, not telling them what they wanted to hear, not telling my friends the things that they wanted to hear. So I had to be honest within myself by realizing who I am. I was I was a Christian, but not really a Christian. I was one of those following people, like saying I'm a Christian, but not really. And so when I did that, I had to work on myself. After working on myself and being honest with myself, with my character, who knows I was, then it came to meditation. Now we pray. I had to pray and meditate. I wanted to basically bring out my true authenticity. That norms I knew when she was young. I wanted that norms to come out, and that norms came out. And she was always there. So I had to break away from the chains of being a follower, the chains of blaming people, whining, complaining, the chains of no basically appreciating my life, and work on my mouth as well. My mouth is a big problem. Mouth can destroy you. Mouth can basically it can kill you. Mouth can you can lose everything because of mouth. So I had to work on my mouth, my language. If you had met me before, you had me, you will know. Basically, I will tell you what I think, basically what I think of you. But now, if you had me, I just pray to God and say, for forgiveness, God. It doesn't matter. When you're hurting me, you're not really hurting me. I believe that you're hurting yourself. So that's what I believe now. But before, I'll basically, my mouth, I'll be like giving it to you. You're really, really giving it to you. And now, when somebody says I've wronged them, I say, so. When someone makes mistakes, I don't judge them. I see it as a mistake. But before I wouldn't. I would say, why? You should know better. You should not be doing what you're doing. You should know better. Not to hurt me, not to hurt anyone. You should know better. But actually, the truth is, no, we shouldn't. We are allowed to make mistakes. People are allowed to make mistakes. So those are the things, the character that I have started realizing. So when I'm saying people are allowed to make mistakes, it means no one is perfect. I have to realize that. So it's something that I had to realize that people are not perfect. Somehow, we are human beings. We are bound to make mistakes. We are bound to, like, let's say I'm working with a client. The client is bound to make a mistake. They are bound to basically to, let's say, their principles that Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency. So if a client goes and those principles, they make a little bit of a tiny mistakes. So before I will scream, I will shout, I'll be angry, I'll be gossiping. I never gossip a lot, but I'll be those critics, maybe criticizing. Yeah, no gossiping. I never went to, even though I started, made choices, became a follower, but gossiping is not something that I entered to. I always respected my life, always respected people around me. I listen to people, and when I listen to people, When they talk, if they're not happy, I say, ask them if they're not happy. So that's what I do. So I never really go into that department of gossiping, but my mouth was, it needed some management, uh, because anger, and so it needed some management, but I've managed to do that. I've managed to work on myself, so I can manage my life. If somebody walks in, they're angry or they're not happy with something, I can calm them down. I can talk to them and try to understand why they feel the way that they behave. But before I will save you, when you're gone, I'll be like, they should know better, I shouldn't behave like that. But I was like that as well. So now I come to understand that we're all different. We make different choices. Some people live in anger, and some people don't work on themselves. So I come to realize that yes, we are different. So those are the things that I had to work on myself. I had to work on my the things that basically cause change in my life were anger, hatred. I hate this. I hate this. I hate that. The hatred that I hate for people. I don't like people who lie. I don't like people who gossip about other people and things like that. Those are the things that, and being judgmental, and judging people, make up my mind before somebody even open their mouth, basically judging them by the way they dress, judging them. But I used to do that, but I don't do it anymore. And spreading rumors. Did I spread rumors about people? Those are the bad habits that people do. No, I wouldn't spread bad rumors actually, even though I had bad habit, but I didn't go that far. That's going crossing the line. I didn't go that far, spreading rumors about people and not telling the truth about people, telling rumors that are not true. And uh, what else? What else? Procrastination, and what else? Blaming others who have hurt me, and blaming others who hurt me back then, and people were not there for me, and the list goes on. Unforgiveness. So I had to work on that. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I can tell you this, it wasn't easy. And I had to accept my past, and I had to embrace the life that I had. I had to basically ask God to forgive me because my parents divorced, and they gave me a beautiful life. I got to travel around the world. I get to travel to Europe, and my family were amazing. And my mom got married to my stepdad, which he became my dad. And he was a lovely man. So he was my father to me. So I didn't appreciate God. And my stepmom being part of my father's life, and having children, my siblings that I can basically, I love them. I basically, I can introduce them to anyone and say, these are my siblings, my younger sisters, my younger brothers. Those were the things that I learned to embrace it. We're talking about gratitude the other day. Those were the things that I had to learn to embrace it, to thank God for giving me this family that is in my life. And those were the things that I had to do, that thanking God basically. And thanking God and knowing that we are not perfect, and thanking God for my dad having the courage and my mother having the courage to say our lives are not good, and then having the courage to divorce, because if they had stayed together for the sake of us children, we would not have been happy. They would not have been happy. So I was happy that they were able to actually have that happiness in their lives. So those were the things that I was so grateful and so happy about in my life. And I stopped becoming a follower. And now I can make up my mind. I can do the things that I want to do. I can say proudly that I am a Christian and I follow Jesus. I don't follow Lucifer because he tried to kill me. So I can say that proudly that yes, I am a child of God, but which God is Jesus that raised Lazarus from the dead because I held unforgiveness. I created a habit wearing seductive clothes, not to seduce anyone, because I watch TV. Cleavage is sexy. That's what I believed, that cleavage is sexy. I I basically became a follower. And by doing that, I didn't know that I was worshiping other gods. I had no idea if someone was to read the Bible and you read the Bible to me like 10 years ago, I'll be saying, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, and not knowing what I'm talking about. But because I came confronted when I basically said to myself, made a choice that I wanted to be, I wanted to know what it feels to be me. I wanted to know what it feels to give God half an hour, 1 hour to fast. And then I was confronted by his opposer. He was like, no, when I made a choice, I made a choice to say, God, show me who I am. The enemy does not want you to succeed. The enemy wants you to be in depression, wants you to say, I'm not happy, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm this, wants you to say negative things. But when you realize that actually I can be happy if I wanted to, I can be this person. And then he will come in and say no. So for me, it wasn't something that somebody told me, it was something that I find myself confronted with. And that confrontation between me and Lucifer, it wasn't a good, it wasn't, it wasn't because they were chains that they were there, I created them. There were choices that I had made myself. I had made choices myself. But when I made those choices, I made those choices to break away from them. I've made a choice to be me, regardless whatever it costs. I'm just gonna be me. Nomsa, if I don't like to go out, I don't like to go out. If I don't like to do this, I don't like to do this. If I want to start a business, I will start a business without anyone telling me that, Nomsa, you can't, because I can. If I put my time and everything I can be who I want to be. I can be the person that I was created to be. And I believed that. I started believing it, but before there were doubts. But I started believing that actually I can be who I wanted to be. I can be the woman that I've meant to be. I don't have to show cleavage, even though they say sex sells. I don't have to show cleavage in order for somebody to tell me that I'm beautiful. I didn't have to do that anymore. If you look at my pictures, there were times where I just dressed big boobies out. But I knew that I was following the media, what I thought was right, because those people that you see them, they dress, it's the choices that they have made. But I had to evaluate what are nonsense choices. What what choices have I made myself without judging anyone, without blaming anyone? Because when you are in a place of judgmental, like myself now, if I see someone wearing a cleavage, it doesn't bother me because it's not a choice that me I have made. It's a choice that they have made. They are making themselves being there. So I know I've been there. So I don't want to be there. Now I want to be in this where I need to know my identity. So those were the choices that I had to make. And those choices, when I made those choices, did it feel bad? It felt so good. When you actually make a choice and then you stick to it, even though you are presented with a mountain, the enemy comes and stop you and say, no, you can't. No, you can't. It doesn't matter. What matters is that choice that you are making. I've made a choice to be who I am today. And those choices nearly cost my life. But I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that I chose to be me. I'm glad that I chose to do the things that I wanted to do. And I'm glad that I chose the life that I have chosen. When you say you want to start a business, it's a choice. There are consequences. The consequences, you're gonna have to work long hours. You're gonna have to travel. You're gonna have to do so many things. You're gonna have to be creative. You're gonna have to use your imagination. You're gonna have to learn the skills. There are so many things that the list goes on. I was prepared to do that. I was prepared to learn the skills that I want for my business. I was prepared to travel and just basically become who I want to be. My job, it sounds glamorous. Being a matchmaker, a love harmonist, it sounds glamorous, but there's no glamour in it. Yeah, there is glamour. You can dress glamour how you want. But when it comes to the job, you work with people. People want the results. They are in pain. So there is no glamour. When somebody is in pain and they come to you, they are not coming to play, they are coming for breakthrough. So those are the things that I had to understand, that yes, having my own business, I can dress however I want, I can look good, but I'm solving pain for people. People are coming to me because there is something in their lives that is not working. So they want me to help them find that breakthrough. So I had to make those choices, that this is what a love harmonist does. So if I speak to someone, they say, "No, so what do you do for living?" So I'm like, "What do I do for work?" I'm a love harmonist, a matchmaker, and they're like, "Sounds glamorous." I'm like, "No, it doesn't. It sounds glamorous when I'm explaining to you, but when it comes to reality, the reality is people's lives. Somebody comes in with their lives, they leave their lives in your hands. They say, this is what is not working for me. Can you help me to get to where I need to go? So do you understand there's no glamour in that? It's a creativity, is psychology, is skills. You have to have skills. You have to know how to communicate with someone. You have to be with someone that knows how to hold someone through dark times. Because when someone comes to you and say, "I'm having problems finding a man or finding a woman that I want in my life, I want to spend the rest of my life with," there's no glamour in it. I can dress glamorous, but there's no glamour in it. All is there is for me to hold that person through dark times and making sure that they they basically get that breakthrough that they want, because mostly is the beliefs. Some people, they've been hurt before, and when someone has been hurt, they believe that good men don't exist. They believe that good women don't exist. But the same woman that you are looking for, if you are a woman looking for a man, there is someone that is searching for a good woman. So we just have to believe. We just have to believe that yes, there is someone out there for us. Yes, I can be a man that can look after, that can be an architect to a woman, to a good woman, that can be a provider for a good woman. It's just that those beliefs. I can be a mentor when I meet this man that I desire. I can be a cultivator, I can be a giver, I can be everything. Those are the beliefs that you just need to tweak and plant in that person, so that when they meet someone, they don't think about, "I'm looking good, I just have to, what dress do I need to wear?" So if you are single and you are still that person that has a mindset of, "I just need to look sexy to go on the dating site, find a man that is going to stay with me for the rest of my life," you still need to work, because men are looking for women who have brain, who have skills, who have knowledge, who knows what they want. Women are looking for the same. They are not just looking for a handsome man that is gonna sweep them away like Cinderella. That is story doesn't exist in the real world. So women are looking for men who knows exactly what they want, who the future, who have a vision. So if you are a man and you are confused, you are in the confused.com, just read books or get in touch with the Ngozi Talk shows. At Ngozi Talk shows, work with someone or get a coach somewhere else and work with someone else. Because if you have been hurt, that's not a choice. That's not your choice. It's not your identity. You have to free yourself. You have to have that freedom. Have a business, you've been hurt, you need freedom. That's not your identity. Your identity is who you want to be. So I think that's me for today, guys. And please, go to Talk Show family, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we are here Monday to Friday at Ngozi Talk Shows. Tomorrow I'll be with Carol Ann Cooper. And get in touch. Get in touch with us if you are struggling with something. Get in touch with us. I'm a love harmonist. I work with love. If you are struggling with love, anything to do with the psychology. I'm a love harmonist. I'm a psychologist. I'll be able to help you, and you have to be prepared as well, because I don't tell you what you want to hear. When you work with me, I don't tell you what you want to hear, and the results that you get, I can't tell you that you will get the results within a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You will get the results based on what you put in that work. That's all I can tell you. You come to me, you with an attitude of wanting to get the results, you will get the results of in a short time, because that's what you want to be. But if you come to me with you still don't listen, you want to be confused, you stay there, then you won't get the results, because there is no magic pill. The results, when you want the results, you've got to be willing to basically do the work. The work requires you to basically evaluate your life and be honest with your life, and knowing that the past doesn't define you. Whatever happened to you in the past, it doesn't define your future. The past is the past, is there for us to learn, and what defines our future is who we want to become. That moment is the choices that we make that moment, and that inner being that is within ourselves that can make a choice and say, this is who I want to become, not who I've been told to be who I am. So you can make those choices based on who you are meant to become. So together we can find that love that you want based on your time, if you are really ready. I don't match somebody, people. I don't basically, when you come to me, there are some people that tell me that I don't need coaching. You'll be like, why don't you need coaching? They're like, I've been to 20 Robins. How many times? Once. So I'm like, you went to 20 Robins once and you're ready to date. So that's life. It doesn't work like that. So if you go to Tony Robbins and you follow all his instructions, what he says, because he has workshops and you work on them, I'm good. I'm happy. I'll take your money and I'll work with you. But if you come to my agency and refuse coaching, knowing that, because if you pick the wrong person, marriage will cost you, divorce will cost you. So it is important for me to help you to pick the right person. And when you go out on dates, I won't be there. You will be there yourself, and you'll be making those choices. Nomsa represent the woman that she thinks is good for you, or I represent a man that I believe that he is good for you, that he will look after you. And romantic, if you are not attracted to each other, you don't have to date each other, because attraction is very, very important as well. You feel like I'm not attracted to this person, why dating them? So you move on to somebody else that I introduce you to. We keep introducing you until you find that person. Of course, the talk shows, we help you find your own voice. Lead from within. You become the that master coach of yourself. You become the masterpiece yourself. You become your own voice. You lead your own life. Because when you come here to Ngozi Talk Show, we don't tell you that things will be okay if they're not going to be okay. So we help you to define reality and the basically fantasy. God bless everyone, and get in touch if you want to get in touch. And please don't forget to subscribe. Have a beautiful day.